this is what I mean by Renaissance. A lot of guys say they want to do things. And I realize this is the only life I have.
Peace, family. Will Roundtree here on a Full-Time CEO podcast, the shit they don't tell you, where we interview entrepreneurs, business owners, legends, just all around influential individuals who come on here to share their story, their successes, and more importantly, some of the obstacles that they possibly had to overcome to be in a position that they're in today. But enough about that. Today, I get an opportunity to interview a very special individual. Well, all the individuals I have on this show are special, but more importantly, this individual is a legend. I'm talking about no other than 4-time NBA champion, plant-based advocate, co-owner of Spark Network. I mean, y'all should already have an idea who I'm talking about. No other than Mr. John Salley. What's going on, brother?
What's up, family? How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Man, the pleasure is definitely all mine, man. So for those who possibly may have been living under a rock, who is John Salley? I mean, you're an actor, you're an advocate for the cannabis space, you're an investor. I mean, you wear a lot of hats, but a lot of people may know you from your basketball days. But who is John Salley, man?
I like to say I'm a human being human. That's what I am. And I'm enjoying this human experience. I talk about the dash in between the day you're born and the day you die. And you got to make the most of it.
Wow.
I used to, you say Renaissance man, because there's so many things I was doing that I found out a lot of people hadn't done. Like I was the first, I guess, athlete to vocally speak about, not first athlete, basketball player, NBA basketball player that spoke about cannabis and the use of cannabis and how it's helped me and how I wish I would have found it when I was playing. I found it the month before I retired, which was, I guess, good because I'd still be playing if I had been partaking in cannabis at an early age. I also, in 1991, went plant-based. I didn't do it well. So I have a lot of years in it. I have over 30 years. Well, this is the 30th year of me working at being a plant-based athlete. So and it took me all the way to 2005. So let everybody know that I was a lying vegetarian in 1991, eating cheese and butter and turkey and shrimp and lobster and fish, thinking, well, that's still vegetarian, and it wasn't. So I decided at the age of 40 never to lie again. So by the age of 50, when I finally mastered it, I live my life. I do what I want. I do everything I want. And everything I want, I do.
Right. Let's talk about this lying vegetarian thing, because I tried it. It takes a minute to get... it takes a minute to wean off of that, man.
Well, you're an addict. And they made us addicts. From, I guess, 12 months. One of the first things they do is when you're a baby, they give you all the vegetables, and they give you your vegetables and they tell you this is going to make you big and strong. And then you get the 2 front teeth and they put a piece of chicken in your mouth. And they give you something dead, and they put dead things in your body. And they start telling you, and you start seeing it. Like, everyone goes to fast foods. Everyone eats this. This is on the commercials. The government wouldn't allow you to have it if it wasn't good for you. And I found out at 27 years old, I had one of the highest cholesterols on the Pistons.
Wow.
And it was 271. And the doctor said, if you wasn't an athlete, we'd be probably talking about, your death. So I had to figure out what it was. I had to stop putting dead things inside this beautiful, alive body. What I usually tell people is that this is a Formula One car, and I only put high octane gas in it.
There we go.
So, and then when I just realized, a friend of mine said, you keep saying you're a vegetarian, but you eat turkey burgers. You keep saying you're a vegetarian, but you keep eating every bit of shrimp and lobster you can get your hands on. And I started realizing they were living beings. They they procreate. So, I'm putting something that was alive, thinking it was for me. And that's crazy. Just think about it in the reverse. If all of a sudden something just came down and plucked you out of the sky because it felt like it, that's not life. So I decided not to be a part of that.
Definitely. Well, I'm gonna have you send me some recipes, John.
Well, the recipe is this. If it's dead, don't eat it.
Something that may taste good.
If it comes, now see, vegan food tastes great.
Right.
It's the mental part. Like, and then when I said about being addicted, I wasn't just talking about you. We as a Western society are addicted to sugar.
Very true.
I mean, the sugar was one of the reasons for the slave trade. That's how addicted we are to it. So we're addicted to sugar. And once you start weaning off sugar, you start realizing things that come with sugar you shouldn't put in your body.
No, absolutely.
We should allow, I think we take 65 pounds or more of sugar into our body. You couldn't carry a 65-pound bag of sugar. And you put that in and all it does is destroy cells. So I just started working at keeping this avatar alive. I watch the movie Avatar all the time. And one of the things they said is you have to become connected. And if you're connected, then you wouldn't see killing an animal as what you have to do. When you had Thanksgiving, everything on the table usually is a plant, except the turkey or the ham.
Very true.
And the turkey and the ham eat plants. So you just eat plants. I have this T-shirt on for you. It says, "Eat what elephants eat." They are 100% herbivores. They don't. And you want to be as strong as an ox, and we forget the ox eats grass.
Definitely.
You want to be as strong as a silverback gorilla, and you feel he's a raw foodist. So it's when you want to be these things that are strong, you would eat things that make you strong.
Right. Well, I'm gonna definitely take some baby steps, and I'll keep you updated on my progress.
Well, you're not a baby, bro. You're not a baby, and you can't try to do anything. You
I'm gonna do it.
Or you do not. Do or do not. There is no try.
My next meal, I'm gonna send you a picture and say, John, this is what I'm about to eat.
Wait, how old are you now?
I'm 42.
Let me explain this to you. How many times do you get up and go to the bathroom when you sleep?
Sometime at least once. Depending
okay.
on, if I'm drinking, because I drink a lot of water.
That's not the reason.
Okay. What's the reason?
Okay. The reason is your prostate, as you get older, is swelling. And if you don't eat the vegetables or the herbs that are important to keep your cell and your prostate strong, you're gonna have to relieve your bladder at night. Your body is cleaning itself from 9:30 to 2:30 a.m. So maybe you may get up and go then, but you should be up early in the morning drinking that water. If you want to flush that, you want to drink at least a liter of water before 12 o'clock.
Right.
And a lot of people eat. I tell people, eat the highest vibrating food because you're a vibrating spiritual being. So you should eat fruit from 11 to 2, as much as you possibly can eat. Yeah. And that's going to give you the fiber, and all the water that you need is inside that. That how it works in your kidneys, your liver, your spleen, your colon, all of that is worked out. So those are the ways to start. So you don't have to have a recipe.
Okay. All right,
you know what I'm saying? Like, we're the only beings on the planet that cook their food. That's a scary thought.
That is very true.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna definitely take the advice from the legend, the plant-based advocate, and I'm gonna go get some more fruit in my life. Which I actually, because I do work out, I have a trainer, so I do, eat fairly what people would consider clean. I drink a lot of water. I don't traditionally eat big party breakfasts and all of that. So so I'm gonna definitely add more of that into my diet. So I appreciate it.
All right. Got it.
Definitely. But let's talk about the earlier years of John Salley, the bad boys.
Yeah.
I often go back and I love, I grew up in Milwaukee. So growing up in Milwaukee, in the 80s, Jordan was everywhere. Y'all stopped my man from getting a lot of championships.
Yeah, well, like, it's so funny being in the Midwest, being in Detroit, Milwaukee. I wasn't a fan of Milwaukee. Chuck Daly, my coach in Detroit, used to say every time I would be playing poorly, he would say, "Hey, Sal, I can always trade you to Milwaukee. There's no nightclubs in Milwaukee." I said, "There's a bar in every corner." He
It
said,
really
"You don't
is
drink."
a bar everywhere.
He said, "You don't drink." He said, "You ain't gonna like Milwaukee." So that was my way of staying out of that. When I was in Detroit, we were this team that a whole bunch of guys that had pride and didn't want to lose. And when the propaganda came around that the new Messiah was born in Chicago, we were like the Romans. We didn't want to hear that.
Right.
So Chicago was Isaiah Thomas's hometown. That's Isaiah's town. So when Michael started taking it over, we had to work on that not happening, bro.
Right.
So, and he loved the competition. I love in The Last Dance on Netflix, you watch with Michael Jordan, one of the things he talks about is we made him a better player. Now, he's great. He's great. But we made him a better player. That challenge he got from us in the games, he wish he would have gotten in practice. So, he's my man. We're Omega Psi Phi Incorporated brothers, the fraternity brothers for life. But when it came time, whether he was going to get the chip or I was going to get the chip, he was going to have to talk to me about it in the summer.
Right. What is the whole persona of the Bad Boys? I know you said it was due to you guys' pride, Jordan coming in. I mean, y'all possibly is the reason he got a 17-footer. Like he was not coming into the lane. But where did this whole, was it something like, hey, this is what the plan is?
No.
Like, how did that come about?
No, it was literally that moniker was put on top of us from David Stern.
Oh, wow.
He called us in 1988. We lost in Game 7 against the Lakers, but that summer they thought we were so exciting that Inside Stuff, NBA Entertainment, put a tape together, and the tape was called Bad Boys, and it was about how we play. Now it's funny because if you talk to guys in that era, they wouldn't have called us bad boys. That was just put on us. I guess we had to have a title. Yeah. Because the Celtics were really dirty. They're really dirty. And I played against Maurice Lucas. Yeah, man. So you and back then, they would break you up and go sit down. NBA players fight like this, almost like this Ali picture. They back it up. So it's just the lane was where the big men were. And the game back then was bring it down, set up a play, throw it into the guy with the closest to the basket. Now it's everybody shoot the ball. We need to have this many shots at the basket by this time by the best shooter. So it's entirely a different game than it was then. Back then it was low scoring games, which the NBA didn't like, but basketball purists loved because it was defense and schemes and offense and I guess capitalizing on their weaknesses. Now it's as many times you can get the ball to the basket, no matter your height.
Right. Are you still actively involved in any capacity with the NBA as a, just as a mentor or anything like that? No.
My last game was May 16th, my birthday, 2000.
Wow.
And I think I played in the playoffs, but I really only remember playing my last game. I had 16 points and 10 rebounds. Anyway, but but after that, that summer, I shot a movie called The Ultimate Christmas Present, which is on Disney Plus, and I became the host of BET Live. So I went from being on the basketball court to doing what I had been planning to do 3 years prior to that. When I first left the NBA. I retired at 32 and then I retired again at 36. And I was the host of BET Live and I was the first. That's when this is what I mean by Renaissance. A lot of guys say they want to do things. And I realize this is the only life I have. So I do everything I want to do. Mm-hmm. And no one gets in my way of that. And when they think they do, I just move them out of the way or I move away. Right. So I wanted to be an actor. So I took the acting classes. I was blessed enough to be in Bad Boys 1 and 2 in 93 and 2003. And I kept taking acting classes. And I have a movie coming out on Disney Plus again called Sneakerella in February. We don't know the date yet, but February or March. And that's my latest thing. So every time I get 60 days to do a movie, I do it. If I get to do a TV show like LA's Finest, which is on Netflix, I do it. But now I became an owner of a network. So this network will launch in February, maybe January, we might pre-launch. Okay. And it's we got Spark, SPRK, which is no, there's no A in it. And we have an NFT network, and we have a network that's going to work in the metaverse. And we have Spark Entertainment, where we have a record label and literally working on NILs of a lot of people. So I just saw Shaq came out with something. I wish he would have come out with us on Spark NFT and NFT Glee. But, these guys will see. I'm planning on leading a lot of people into the metaverse to show them what the future is. Yeah. And I like being a part of it.
Definitely. Now, you said something interesting. You mentioned...
I say a lot of things interesting, bro. No, I'm joking.
You say a lot of interesting things. Let me rephrase that. But this
don't make me cut you. I will cut you. No, I'm joking. Okay.
But this particular thing you said that was interesting. You said if it's something you want to do, you either move them out the way or you move out the way. And just knowing, what I do, because I speak and I work and I help a lot of people to the best of my ability. A lot of people have excuses. Now, everybody say they want to be successful. They want to make money. They want to change their family financial situation. But you literally have to have that type of mindset. What do you say to someone who is full of excuses? Let me just use that word.
You don't speak to them.
Period.
Listen, this is the craziest thing is the Dalai Lama once said, not getting what you think you want, it may be an unbelievable blessing. Mm. So what I mean by that is when people are talking and giving you reasons on how life is moving, they don't know anything because you have literally every second of your day, it could be your last. So to give excuses, literally reasons why things are not working, is ego. And them speaking about what's happening. You don't know what's happening.
True.
I use this saying a lot. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. So, and what I mean by that is if you want shade, if you want fruit, if you want stability in your land, you would have built that 20 years ago. But if you hadn't, you should plant that seed now.
Right.
And you should do everything in process of making that seed grow. Watering it, make sure it has light, make sure it's cleared, make sure it has nutrients, make sure you put your focus into it, your love into it, and it'll grow and it'll bear fruit if it's a fruit-bearing plant. So that's with your life as well. So to sit around and say, this isn't happening because of this, is literally your ego saying that all the forces in life. You don't. Life is fleeting. So all you need to do is put your nose down and do what's happening. When people start giving you excuses, I literally start thinking of a song I like. And I plug that song into my brain so I can't hear them. Mm. And if it's negative, I step out of the way.
Right.
I literally stay away from the vibration of negativity. Even though it helps me grow, it's on both sides so I can grow straight. But I literally, when people start giving excuses, and they can't give excuses for me. They can't tell me what I'm going to do and how. I had a lot of people growing up when I was a real, real skinny kid in Brooklyn, and they didn't think that I had what it took to do what I was doing. And I had already established at 12 years old, I was going to be a pro.
Wow.
So if I were to listen to people who weren't pros, tell me about how to be a pro.
That part.
That's crazy. The ones who knew you had to work hard, you had to put the time in. There's a great book, Outliers, that you got to put those 20,000 hours into becoming an expert. And I've spent more than 20,000 hours, I think, being really, I guess, blessed at my craft.
Right. Yeah, I have this thing where I often say, I don't deal with people who use the word, I just want to be comfortable in life. I can't deal with people like that because when you're comfortable, you're going to always make excuses.
Oh.
And so I'm just very leery of people like that. And I don't make excuses. if it's something like I moved to Las Vegas in 2005 and I literally knew no one and I borrowed $500 and I was able to create something literally from nothing. So it's impossible for me to listen to you when I know you already have an unfair advantage. You know, you may have an income, you got a spouse, you probably got a trust fund, whatever your situation is, like it's always a way. And so I'm big on that too with the no excuses thing, man.
Yeah. My mother used to say to me, my brothers didn't have the hustle I have. And they said that they're not built like you. And I used to wonder why not, because they were, I guess they had got, kicked around and hit so many different ways by life. But, I look at things that didn't kill me, only made me stronger. And it's so fun when you said you don't really deal with those people that say that they just want to be comfortable. I just stay happy. So if I say I want to be happy, I become happy. Just like you can say you're unhappy, just like you can say everything is against you, just like you can say you're down and out, you can say you're up and going. You can literally, you're the catalyst of your life.
You create all of that.
All of it.
So let's take it back a little bit, John, from a standpoint of so everybody sees you now.
Yeah.
What obstacles did you have to overcome? Because I would assume it wasn't all sweet all the time. You're now this decorated entrepreneur. I think you're a restaurateur in the vegan space. Like you're heavily invested in the cannabis space. Like, were there some challenges before you got to that point?
Yeah, there's always challenges, but that's what you do, right? It's a challenge. They do it on TikTok when they do a challenge. People want to accomplish a challenge. I guess my only obstacle has been time, and how much time I put into something, and how much time I'm focused on something. So I think the only, and I don't have any obstacles. There literally are no obstacles in my way, and if something I wanted or I thought I wanted, I didn't get blessed with, now I go back to the Dalai Lama. Sometimes that has been the blessing. I've been with some companies, some CBD companies that I thought were on the up and up. They turned out not to be. I was able to get out unscathed, but stay in the CBD space, also in the cannabis space. To now down in Atlanta, I think I'm opening a CBD store. So I went over to see Black Wall Street. There's a thing in Atlanta called Black Wall Street out in Stonecrest.
Okay.
And this brother took over an old Target, and he's building to this day all these different small businesses, and they have the streets named after the same streets that were in the original Tulsa. And I thought it was amazing. I'm seeing all these different, I wound up getting a new artist from my metaverse. I went into a couple of stores, aroma stores. I went into crystal stores. There's a couple of brothers from Detroit that I know, and they came down with their crystals and stones, and they're doing it big. I mean, they had 18,000 people walk through on Black Friday.
Wow.
And just to see that everybody is a part of it, and all these people who are entrepreneurs are trying to hand it business, I guess it's great rent, and you have a ton of people come through. So I thought it was a good setup. And I realized, hey, I didn't need to be with that CBD company. I can bring that CBD company right here to Black Wall Street and help as many Black folks as I possibly can.
Definitely.
Or folks, whatever folks walk in. Right. It just happens to be Black Wall Street.
Right. So talking about, the entrepreneurship in Black Wall Street in Atlanta, I know you and I actually got an opportunity to connect online, and then got a chance to speak offline, as I'm going out here speaking about just financial literacy. And when you and I actually got an opportunity to meet, you were talking about how important that is.
Yeah.
Just, coming from a space where, you've been extremely successful, you're around a lot of successful individuals. You told me some of the billionaires you've met, and, just the little bit of dialogue you and I got a chance to have. Like, I really took a lot away from that dialogue. But why do you feel that financial literacy isn't really something that's spoken about, even, from an entertainment space, in professional sports? I'm not sure how it is now, but why do you think that's not really the topic of dialogue, especially in our communities?
Well, I'm going to go back to time.
Okay.
So everything needs time. And when, as a professional athlete or as an athlete working at becoming a professional athlete, it's kind of hard to be a financial advisor and be an NBA All-Star, NBA champion, focus 6-7 hours a day on your body, because your body is what's making you the money. And then also be well-versed in money. And most of us come from families that aren't well-versed in money. Bill Lambier played with me, great guy. And his father, when he first became a pro, made more money than Bill. And his father was a businessman. So what did Bill not have to do? Bill didn't have to buy his dad a car. Bill didn't have to give his auntie a loan. Bill didn't have to buy his parents a house. He got to focus, and his father then said, here's my financial guy. He's going to help you with your money. Make sure your taxes are in place. Make sure this is there. Only spend 25 cents of every dollar. La, 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 la. 12, 15 years of NBA basketball, Bill now has an essay. The difference in Black folks is we do things only what we know. That's only what you can do. So what you know is, I'm going pro to help my family. But then you overhelp your family. I say my family enjoyed my pro life way more than I did. So, and you wind up doing things that you only know and hear, like open up a barbecue spot, open up a barber shop, a hair salon. That's great. But you really should be putting your money into life insurance. And you literally should be finding ways to build a trust and have the trust managed. You should find ways to lessen some of your tax burdens. You should. A lot of people go and they start a foundation and they put the money into the foundation, and at the end of their career, they're the only ones that put money into the foundation, and it hasn't built. So you should. It's hard. It's really hard to find good financial help. And the reason it is because you get to pick from a bucket of snakes. So, and then, you look, you're a young fella, you look down the ride, you see the older fella riding a Rolls Royce, the band's got the house, you go, man, I want to do what you're doing. But they may be blessed. Wilt Chamberlain was blessed enough to have people who really looked out for him.
Really? He's
an anomaly. Shaquille O'Neal, he's an anomaly, had people really look out for him. But everybody else, it becomes, it's a very trying. So I'd say, as in the Black community, it's because we just continue to do what we always have done, and as opposed to doing something new. The reason I even started my own network is, I had this cannabis show with my daughter, Tyler, and it's us, I guess, getting rid of the stigma of cannabis. And you're seeing a daughter and father, me, invest into her business. And we go around and figure out how we're going to do it, because we don't know. So we go to all the people and we find out, one, we wanted to be in flower, two, who was going to help distribute, how our brand was going to look, our marketing. We've been doing this since 2016 or 17.
Oh, wow.
So when you're doing that, you're learning. But I decided also to do what I know how to do, which is television, and to put a camera there so we can take people along for the ride. But starting the network, it's, we're putting our blood, sweat, and tears into it. And they tell me that they're going to own what I shoot. And I've been doing it without them successfully. That's because of my training at Fox Sportsnet when I was on the Best Damn Sports Show. So I know what it needs to look like. I know what it needs to sound like. I know the points it needs to keep people involved. I've done them for 9 years. So I started a network with two of my partners, Dr. Dan Rather and Greg Romano, and we are literally going to launch. And the shows that I want to see on television, the movies I want to see, the things that I think are interesting that others may want to see. If Netflix can start it, and all they did is started streaming, that's, they're the biggest company streaming, I can do the same. So we started that. And then when I realized, and we realized that the future was going to be crypto, I decided to make a crypto show. And in the process, we linked on to NFT Glee, and they are leading us through the metaverse. So God willing and the creek don't rise, I will be at the Bitcoin conference, learning as much as possible. And I tell people, it's not a fad. In 1994, I went to an agent who represented two players I knew. I'm not going to say their name, Keyshawn Johnson and Brian Shaw, and Jerome Stanley is his name. And I went to them and I said, hey, listen, this is 1994. I said, this thing called the internet, we can do something no one else has done. We can own a mall. He goes, what are you talking about? I said, we can literally own a mall on the internet, and people will go and buy things from the mall. I was told, who's going to buy something online on the internet and not try it on first? This is the dumbest idea in the world. That's literally what I was told. And I was like, man, it's only going to take us $50,000. Didn't want to hear it. And, back then I should have just done it myself. But, one of those situations, I was like, man, it didn't happen. And I always know when things come easy to me, they're not really for me. It literally takes me some fighting to get out of the cocoon to become the butterfly.
Right.
So it's going to be a little struggle. But this time, when I realized that this was the second coming of the internet in the Web3, I wasn't asking anybody. I was doing what I knew can be done. So putting in the metaverse nightclubs and arenas and what else could I ever possibly think about putting in? And all of that. I would literally just said, hey, this is what I want to do. I put the pieces together with the people who can do what they need to do. Delegation is very important. Okay. If you can do everything, like Prince, God bless you, but it's really hard to. So my partners, along with Ross, I left Ross out, and now we have Tillman. We are literally building this network so I could lead as many of my fellow athletes, entertainers, people into this future.
That's powerful. Now, just so we have this on the record, John, don't forget you mentioned to hold a slot on your network for me.
Yes, so let's go over that. So on the network, right, I love what like. I saw you on Instagram. I love what you do on Instagram.
Right.
But you're doing it for free, and it's great. It's great.
Right.
But imagine if you could help people, and you can monetize your helping people by having a safe spot. And I think you're great on it. So being on this podcast is really me showing my partners what I was talking about. I think you'd be great on the network on helping people. I'm not saying you're not monetizing now, but think about the way I'm thinking about it. Is you still own all of your stuff. When you're on YouTube, they kind of own it. Yeah, when you're on Instagram, they own it. And the most important thing, not just owning your masters as a singer or an entertainer, but it's owning your content, because content is king.
It really is. No, I appreciate that. So y'all heard it first. John Salley, we cooking up. Well, not cooking. We baking up something.
That's right. You're gonna be on Spark, no question.
Definitely appreciate that. So as we're wrapping up, man, the cannabis space.
Yeah.
I know for so long it was taboo when it came to athletes, and you made a point. You were like, and I think this is what you said. Don't quote me. If you would have had that, you probably could still be playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me explain. Well, one, athletes, when you look at Kevin Durant and you hear about how his body is and how he's hurting and how Kobe's body was beat down, cannabis gets into, everybody has a cannabinoid system. So helping your cannabinoid system with this unbelievable healing plant that had been known to do healing thing. I don't like saying the word healing, but help your muscles to relax and get back to homeostasis. This plant would help. And some of the greatest people we've ever seen, Usain Bolt. I don't like, I ain't speaking from him, but what I hear is that he is a cannabis user. And in being a cannabis user, he runs faster than everybody else. Michael Phelps was seen hitting a bomb with his big lungs, and it helped him swim like a dolphin. Right. So these things help. And I know if I would have been able to relax, think about it. If I would have played the game, gone and smoked a bowl, got a massage, I would have gone to sleep. And my body would have been recuperating. And then I do yoga and I eat well. I would have played till I was 50 years old. Wow. And the aches and pains and the muscles wouldn't have been there. But when you don't have that, and you have literally your body is hurting, and you go to the nightclub and you have a scotch or a bourbon or a cognac, I ain't gonna say the name of any of those things aren't adding to your cells, aren't helping you heal. You're not getting to sleep. You're probably hanging out with some unsavory people. You know what I'm saying? So you're really not taking care of this avatar and taking care of it. One of the greatest boxing things is Rocky when he's boxing Drago. All you saw Drago do was training and getting the IV and making sure he was well and going and doing right. That's it. If you treat it like the machine it is, it will perform like the machine is supposed to.
Right. So with that being said, with the cannabis, is there a certain strand that get into that state?
Anything that comes from Deuces 22 is going to be good for your body. Now, there's for people to know there's sativa, which is more of a mind high and a body high, but your mind stays. You become, I guess, more lucid. You can see and feel more things. And then you got a body high, a complete body high with an indica, which we call in the couch, because it will make you relax. Right. And then a hybrid, which sometimes is in between. We use flower right now. I just got into certain CBD, Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10, CHC-Os, all these different things can get into your body and literally help you manifest things, help you get more oxygen into your cells, because your cells are literally 70% oxygen. Right. So the more oxygen you get in, and it's funny, when you take a big hit and you hear people coughing, that's literally clearing their lungs. Okay. Like people wouldn't understand that. And they just, I'm not in control. Well, I always have to tell people, you're never in control. You're just existing. Right. And you're trying to do the best you can to stay alive. So you're never in control. But the things that are placed in your hand at that second, at that moment, you can control that.
Definitely. So what's next for John Salley? I mean, you're into everything. I couldn't even really go down the list of your real bio. What's next for John Salley, man?
I would say what's next is the Spark Network. The only thing I'm focused on is the metaverse and how I'm going to play a role in helping as many people navigate through this. The pioneers get the arrows, sure. But that's okay. And when I saw you, I was at a cryptocurrency party, and I'm learning more about them as well. So I pay attention to what's going on in the world. And my crypto show, which we haven't named yet, will literally be, and once again, we went on TikTok, we went on Instagram and found different people to come on. I've been talking to CNBC about literally being a contributor about what I know or about what I feel is next in the crypto space.
Definitely. That's powerful, man. So what's that one thing you wish you had have known while being on this journey? What is that one thing that the old John Salley wish he had?
I wish I would have known yoga as a teen. If I would have started studying yoga as a teen, I feel it would have helped me a little bit more. It helps you focus. It shows you how to meditate, which is a deep state of letting your body, getting inside of your body. I wish I would have known that. And I wish I would have traveled to all over the world for a month every year in my off season.
Wow. So with yoga, is there, difference between hot yoga?
Hot yoga is, I'm not talking against it, but man, I'm real particular to smell. And I walked in one of those rooms and people are gassy. And some people don't shower well. So it wasn't one of my favorite things, but hatha yoga, literally breathing and having somebody stretch me through it, that I can deal with. But man, people are funky. So I just say that. It's just learn to stretch your muscles, learn to get oxygen, breathe. And you realize, like I do every hour, my phone rings at, my number is 22. It reads 22 minutes after the hour. Right. And I realized that it did it yesterday too. So moment by moment is how you should live. But plant that seed so you can have shade when you do it.
I love that, man. So as we wrap up, John, man, thank you. I appreciate you.
Man.
You got a hectic schedule. You're working on closing out your year. How you gonna spend these last few days in 2021, man?
Alive. I just want to spend them alive, bro. I tell people all the time. They say, "All right, Sal." Like, "All right, man, stay alive."
Definitely.
That is it. Somebody's buzzing me, man. I got to get going.
Oh yeah, no, but man. They let me know. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for stopping by. This is Will Roundtree on the Full-Time CEO podcast, the shit they don't tell you, where I have my good friend and brother, legend, Mr. John Salley. I appreciate him. Make sure y'all go follow him and stay tuned in, and make sure y'all stay tuned in for that Spark Network, because you never know, your boy is probably gonna be on there very soon. Until then, I'll see y'all on the other side. Peace.